welcome to Short Film Showcase. I'm your host, Mike Messier. This is the show where we feature great interviews and short films from the best filmmakers in New England. Today we have a very special guest. She made the film Transsexuals from Space that was on a previous episode of the Short Film Showcase. And right now, here's our guest, Brina.
Hi, Mike.
Hi, Brina. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you to the station for hosting us as well.
They're a great studio here in Seekonk, and we really appreciate them helping with the show, and thanks for saying that. Now, you are extremely active in the New England region, and where in New England do you reside?
I live in Whitman, which is on the other side of Brockton. Most people know where Brockton is, one of the hubs of the area.
Yes, Brockton, City of Champions?
City of Champions, that's right.
That's great. Tell us about what you brought into the studio, some props from Transsexuals from Space.
Oh, well, our movie is, it's a 30-minute comedy. It's black and white. It started off as, well, we wanted to have a film that had no blood, no sex, no violence, and it's 99% profanity free. And we say 99% profanity free so we can have that little 1%.
Right.
And people say, well, what's the profanity in it? And I say, we had to sneak in one oh.
Right.
And the film is basically, it is Ed Wood meets Tim Burton, directed by Mel Brooks.
Nice.
A homage to three of my favorites.
That's wonderful.
And I had lots of time to do pre-production on the film, so we made all kinds of goofy props.
What did you call this, Brina? What's this piece called?
This is Long Star's ship. This is a takeoff on the Winnebago from Spaceballs.
Nice. And you created this yourself?
Yeah, like I say, we had plenty of time in pre-production. I was in pre-production for 9 months, doing the drafts of the script, rewriting, doing character development, building a lot of props. We've shot most of it in my studio. I have a professional video studio in Whitman, and we shot most of the spaceship right in the studio.
Nice. And this is 7-11.
7-11.
Yep.
Yep, one of the scenes has the Celery Raiders, and that is a takeoff on the Celeron Raiders from Battlestar Galactica, I think it was.
Right.
And they're cruising through space, and they're trying to sell us their old stale cookies. So they had to stop for someplace for milk. So we had to come up with someplace like 7-11.
Nice.
That they could stop at.
This is terrific. That's just great. And you're, for those that didn't see the previous episode where we showed the short film, what were your roles on the film Transsexuals from Space, your crew positions?
Well, I was the commander in the evil bitch, Vixenia, and then we had 4 Dronetias.
Okay.
And they were all clones of the film. There was actually up to 600 Dronetias in the full-length film. We have lots more work to shoot. And we had actresses, a famous actress from New York. We have other people that are related to A-listers. Artie Wahlberg is in the film, and we tell people, hey, you know, you've seen Artie as a detective, now come see Artie in drag.
Right.
And we wanted to make the film kind of as an homage to a whole bunch of different people, and we wanted to circulate through the LGBT circle.
Yes, which stands for, as everyone knows.
Lesbian, bisexual, transsexual, and gay.
Right. Okay, so all inclusive.
And we kind of want to let people understand that transsexuals, I mean, we're no different than anybody else. We've got the same issues. We pay the same bills.
Would you say that there's a lack of films relating that experience? And is that something you're working on with your own film and more films to come?
Well, not more films to come. This is the only film I think that'll be have that theme. But what we wanted to do was hopefully, if people understand that, like I say, that everybody is basically the same.
Right.
You know, and it's just a film, and it was a lot of fun. Then they'll kind of lighten up and enjoy.
There's a great philosophy there, because reaching people through artwork is often the best way to go. If you come after people with politics or debate or, you know, that type of thing, you're going to have one way of thinking. But if you go through art, that can touch people's hearts in a different way.
Correct. And this is just fun.
Okay, great.
This was just all done for fun. And it has, like I say, we hope the message will be able to circle the globe. And that other one, the Rocky Horror Picture Show, that's almost 40 years old, so it's time for a little bit of fresh air.
A little updated art. That's awesome. And I'm looking at your resume here, your bio, and it's just so much stuff you've done in your life. Hallmark Institute of Photography, is that correct?
I did.
What was that like?
I started my actual photo career as a real paid photographer on a W-2 form as a yearbook photographer. I shot colleges for 3 years, and I shot about 38,000 people.
Wow.
And in my third year, I was promoted to the assistant director of photography for the studio I was working for, and I lectured several times at Hallmark.
Nice.
That was before the school was gained its notoriety as one of the premier film institutes in the country.
I've been there. It's a great place.
It is. It's a wonderful setting as well. It's a beautiful campus.
And where's the campus, just for those?
It's in Turners Falls, Massachusetts, way out close to New York.
It is quite a ride.
It is.
I have taken that ride. And you were telling me before we shot that you worked on a film that featured Lloyd and Jeff Bridges and a gentleman named Mike Starr, and that was the film you want to talk about for just a second?
Yeah, that was Blown Away.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, it kind of harkens, it was associated with an explosion in Copley Square, Boston, and unfortunately we had the marathon bombing recently.
Right.
So that film actually came up in several blogs.
Wow.
That I noticed on the internet, that there was like, I believe it shot on a thing in 1994. And there was all the big explosions in Copley Square, and that was a big movie film production of Hollywood studio. And then, unfortunately, we had the incident in Copley Square after. That's why it came up in some of the blogs on the internet.
Yeah, tragic events, and once again, it's interesting how art and real life can overlap. And
Life imitates art in this, unfortunately, in this situation.
Yeah, that's true. And on a lighter note, your index finger ring has got a nice story. You create, is this true, you create your own jewelry, is that right?
Well, I don't create a lot of jewelry, but I created my ring myself. It's GMTYT.
That's beautiful.
And people might see it and say, well, what does your ring mean? And I'll tease them like, well, green men think yellow thoughts. And they're like, well, what does that mean? I'm like, I'm just teasing. It means give more than you take.
Yes.
And my two boys hate this.
Oh, why is that?
Because any time that they were, didn't see a parent's point of view or didn't kind of, get something that we thought that we should have done as a parent-child, they're like, look at the ring, look at the ring. And they're like, oh, no, not the ring, please.
They're like, we want to take more than we get, or something like that. We want to, it's funny. Good for that. And let's see. And you have some really life experience. Let me see if I'm pronouncing it. Shotokan Karate, is that correct?
Uh-huh.
And you're also Eucharistic minister, did I say that right?
I was Eucharistic minister at my chapel for 5 years.
That's just outstanding. And with these life experiences, would you say that these kind of go into your artwork, into your films, help you as a creative person enjoy life experiences and share that with your audience and with your colleagues?
Oh, it does. As far as like the ministry goes, it makes you want to do some Christian work as far as film work goes. And there's not that much Christian work out there as far as film work goes, but it kind of reinforced the fact that I started a group on Facebook called RECKLESS, which is a film group that promotes nonviolent and non-exploitive films.
That's great, yeah, because these days so many folks are, let's make a quick thing to make some money. Let's,
Well, like there's so much that now these days it's just a bloodbath.
Yeah.
It started with Saw, and then it went to Saw 5.
Oh, I don't like those movies.
And the indies, a lot of young indie movie makers, everybody has their own taste.
Right.
And, there's nothing you can really tell people, have to have their own experience and learn for themselves. But if people would ask me, what my thought would be to have a little bit less blood, a little bit less exploitation, and maybe a little bit more comedy.
Yes.
A little bit more family situation.
That's great.
Of course, then it's being a parent too. I mean, that kind of brings it out as well.
You want your kids to be able to grow up in a world that does have some levity and comedy and some good feelings and some family values.
Yep.
Yeah, because the other films that sometimes have that Karo syrup bath. Not so much with the fake blood and stuff.
And it's just a zombie and Dracula. I think they're kind of overplayed at this point.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, no offense to our zombie and Dracula fans, but you did some children's shows as a child, Major Mud and Boomtown.
I did them first times on camera.
Okay, well, that's great. Brino, we could talk all day, but unfortunately we're running out of time. So I want to thank you very much for being here on the Short Film Showcase. We'll have to have you back when we have more time for you.
Thanks for having me, Mike.
Thank you very much, Brina. Okay, our next piece on the short film showcase is a short film called Uncorked. It's by our next guest in the studio. His name is Phil Hall. But first, let's check out Uncorked right here on the short film showcase.
Oh yeah. You want some of this? No, really, you can. It doesn't matter. I'm clean. I brushed my teeth this morning. It's can wipe it off. It's good. I'm having it for my health. Seriously, because the old lady said to me, "When was the last time you had a checkup?" And I'm saying, must have been a kid. So she said, "You ought to go to the doctor." I said, "Why would I go to the doctor? I feel okay." She said, "Go to the doctor. We got the health care, go. Lose it or use it. It's all right." Went to the doctor for the... And weird creepy old guy. He's poking me and prodding me. He had this little flashlight. He was sticking in my eye. I mean, what the... And he says to me that, you know, you have high blood pressure. He said, "I didn't know that. I feel perfectly fine. I don't even catch a cold." And I said, "No, you got high blood pressure." He had wrapped something around my arm, was squeezing a ball. It hurt like hell. And so he shows this to me, and he said, "You know, you got to do something to get this blood pressure down." And I'm saying, "Well, what do I need to do?" And he said, "Well, you could adjust your diet." I could adjust my diet. All right, what else? And he said, you could get more exercise in. I said, "I've heard that before. The old lady's always after me to exercise." And he said that... He said, you need to take some pills as well. You're going to have to start taking this medication because you're just... I said, no. I said, no, I am not taking any medication because I'm under the belief that there's some sort of conspiracy going on between the government, doctors, companies that make the pills, the pharmacists that sell them. I mean, they're stuffing pills on the public that they don't need it. I mean... When I was a kid, everyone used to run around and bang each other's heads in the wall, and nobody thought twice about it. But today, all these kids are being stuffed with all this pill stuff, and nobody's getting healthier. If you notice that, I mean, the doctor's offices are jammed, and who's benefiting from all of these pills? And it's the pharmacist, because you know the guy who runs the pharmacy where I live, he has 2 kids, and they both went to Harvard. And I'm saying to myself, how can this little broken down old man send these 2 kids to Harvard? Harvard costs a lot of money. Excuse me. And I suspect they're going to Harvard because he's making all this money selling these pills. And I'm like saying, you know something, why the f should I have my money go to him so he can send his kids to Harvard? If his kids want an education, they should go do what I did and join the military, be in the army. That's how you get an education. Yeah, don't laugh, I was in the army. So it was a long time ago. I was there. I was in Vietnam, yeah. Strange place, all these little Asian people, nobody spoke English. Didn't know what was going on. Food was terrible too, but that's water under the bridge. So, what was I talking? So the doctor says, so what else can I do? I'm not taking pills. He said, you need to de-stress. And I said, what is de-stress? And he's like, de-stress means you got to calm yourself down because apparently your stress levels are so high that this blood pressure is high too. So if you're calmer, the blood pressure goes down. And then they were saying, so what can I do to calm myself down? And, well, I find myself very relaxed when I'm enjoying this. So I think at the moment, I haven't been back to him in a while, but I think at the moment my blood pressure must be close to 0 because I feel so relaxed and so happy. And it's It's medicinal, really. I think that's the word for it, would be medicinal. So I don't need to go to the pharmacy for all that shit. And I'm feeling better, but try convincing that to some people, that they'll hear what they want to hear. Like the old lady, she's on my case all the time about doing stuff. You don't mind if I smoke, do you? It's a force of habit. I have to ask because you know where she is. She says to me, I don't want you smoking in the house, so I go outside on the back porch. And she says, I don't want you smoking on the back porch. And so I go to the car, and she says, I don't want you smoking in the car. So I said, well, I can't smoke in the house, and I can't smoke in the car, and where am I supposed to smoke? And she says, that's the idea. And I said, that don't make sense. It's like, always nagging. Hold on a second, I got my matches in here someplace. That's my keys. Lately I'm finding myself getting very forgetful. I'm glad my dick's attached to me, otherwise I'd probably leave it in the bathroom somewhere. I know I had it when I came out here. Hold on. It's around here someplace. I didn't leave it home. So, I said, what? I mean, some people don't like the smell of cigarettes, and I don't blame them. But it's an acquired taste, like anything. Like doggy-style sex, not everybody likes to do it. But, they do it. That's funny. I could have sworn I had it with me. Hold on a second. Kind of embarrassing, Then I have to go home and get a matchbook, and it's like, I don't want to go home. She's home today from work, and she's going to be on my case all day. I know that. Oh, it's around here someplace. Well, in any event, I don't know. She doesn't want me smoking. A lot of people don't want me smoking. Oh, thank you. It's a nice guy you got here. You two, he looks like your brothers. You related? No? Oh well. Thanks a lot. It's a nice, it's a pink color. Oh. All right, thank you. Probably one of these made in China jobs. Anyway, so I wonder about why don't people like smoking? Years ago, when my dad was still around, he used to smoke. Didn't bother him. If you see on TV, like everyone on TV and in the movies back in the day, they smoked. Yeah, that's good. And Fred Flintstone smoked. There was this old commercial. I saw it on the computer once. It was him and Barney Rubble smoking. It was funny. Hey, if Fred Flintstone smoked, why can't I? And I don't know. I mean, look at this thing. It's such a little thing. How could it be so bad for you? It's what is this stuff? It's tobacco, and tobacco is a plant. It's like what's that thing that Popeye used to spinach? Yeah, spinach. Yeah, it's like spinach. It grows on trees. I mean, what the? It's natural, and it's wrapped in paper, and paper is from trees as well. And you just heat it up, and it's like when you heat a can of baked beans. I mean, you don't get cancer from eating baked beans. So why would you get? I don't know why you get the cancer though. There must be, I don't know. Maybe they stick something in here. I know it's like nicotine. I don't know what that is. I should look that up. But whatever. I don't have cancer. I'm fine. And everyone I know who smokes is fine. And this is also good for my blood pressure because the doctor says you got to de-stress. So I'm taking this, and I'm not the least bit stressed out when I smoke, except when the old lady's nagging at me. She's always on my case about something. On my case recently, what was the last thing she did? That was a mess. That was losing weight. One day she looks at me in the morning, I get out of bed, and she said, "You need to lose weight." I said, "Have you seen yourself in the mirror lately?" And she didn't like that. She didn't like that at all. One thing that I learned about marriage: never pick a fight with a woman that's larger and stronger than yourself. Nothing good's ever going to come of it, believe me. So she said, you got to lose weight. And I'm like, how am I going to lose weight? So why don't you join the gym? Well, join a gym. So there's a gym near my home, and I go there, and it's scary. If you've never been into one of these places, it's scary. They had this music, if you call it music, blaring at the top of the speakers, and you have all these big guidos with biceps the size of my head, and they're lifting these huge weights, and it's like I don't like that at all. That's like, I feel, what's the word? Something. I feel something, and it's not good. So I'm saying to myself, how am I going to exercise? Because she wants me to be in shape. And I'm thinking, well, I could buy one of these things on the TV, because they always have every morning or every night they have these commercials where everybody is trying to exercise and lose weight. And it's like you pop this thing in your DVD player, and in a couple of weeks you get yourself six-pack abs, which is nice, but why do I need six-pack abs? It's like I can count to 6 without taking my shirt off. I can count to 21 without taking everything off, actually. So it's I don't need that. But then I don't remember who it was. I think it was my neighbor. It doesn't matter. It said that walking is very good for you. And I didn't realize that. I mean, I walk every day. Probably made in China. A lot of shit over there. But anyway, walking's good for me. And I should go walking. And you could lose weight and get in better shape. All right. Where am I going to go walking, though? I walk around the house. I'm not going to lose anything. And then I remembered that, you know Tom Seymour? Yeah, he has a bar at the other end of town. And I usually don't go there because it's so far away. But if it's a nice day, maybe I'll take a walk. And I measured it. And it's about 1 mile from my house to Tom's bar. Okay, so that's 1 mile going there. And 1 mile coming back. So that's 2 miles a day. And that's great. And if I go like once in the afternoon and then once in the evening, that's 4 miles a day. It's like, hey, I'm getting myself into great shape. I go over there. It's a wild walk. I get to de-stress, which is also good for my blood pressure. And then I can go back. And if I find myself getting anxious, is that a word? Yeah, anxious. Then I can go back another mile, de-stress again, and then this is a win-win situation. This is perfect, and I really like that. And the nice thing about walking, especially on a nice day like today, you bring your friends along, and they love to be with you. So it's a social thing. And so sometimes if I'm walking, I either call up Dick or Matt or John or the other guys, and I'm like saying, hey, I'm going down to Tom Seymour's. Let's all go there. And these guys haven't been working in a while. They're around, so they're not doing anything. So all of us go down, and it's great. We have fun. You're gonna have to get yourself a new one of these things. I think you're low on liquid. We go down there, and we get our exercise, and we de-stress. And it's nice. And sometimes we get extra exercise too, because if one of the guys drinks a bit too much, we have to carry him home. So, that's good upper body exercise. Except, we had the problem with Matt once. I mean, we weren't able to carry him home, so we just wrote a note and taped it to him. So whoever finds him, please take him home. He got home. I don't know who did it, but yeah, that's my exercise. So I'm happy. I'm getting myself into better shape. Thanks to something, whatever, yeah. You've been on your knees a lot. If you want to get up, you can. You sort of remind me of my friend Buddy. It's like, you ever tell you about Buddy? No? Oh, he was, Buddy was my best friend when I was growing up. I haven't thought about Buddy in years. He was quite a guy. I knew him in high school. He was a dwarf, He was a little guy about this big, I think. Yeah, about that big, but I knew. And I was a couple of grades older than him. And it's one of these weird high school type do-gooder things where the older students are supposed to be mentors to the younger students, and so I got assigned Buddy. But it was the best thing that ever happened. Buddy used to look up to me. He used to look up to everybody, come to think of it, because he was a dwarf. He was just like the shortest person around. It really must be. It must be rough being the shortest person everywhere, because you're always looking up and people are always looking down at you. But he got used to it. He never really complained too much. And we had a lot of fun. I used to pick him up after school, literally because he was so small, and put him on the handlebars of my bicycle. And we used to pedal around town. And that was nice. It was, town was still clean at that time. And we go over to the ritzy neighborhood, I think it's down over there, and we would look around to make sure that nobody was around. We used to go there just to get the feel for the place. And I said to Buddy, let's we could make some money. You know, this is because it's supposed to be a mentoring type of deal, and I'm supposed to teach him things. So let's what's the word? Be entrepreneurs. So we'd find a place that there would be nobody around, and park the bike, and I would put Buddy on my shoulders, and he would look in the window at the houses. And if there was nobody home, I would give him a screwdriver. He'd get the window open, and he'd get inside and run his little way around and open the front door, and we'd help ourselves. And it was great. It was a lot of fun. We made a lot of money too, which was quite nice. And this was back in the days before eBay and Craigslist. I mean, today I could sell the stuff online, but back then you had to go to the pawn shop. And they got to know us there as a big guy, little guy, and so that was it was fun until we got caught. Well, obviously, sooner or later we got caught, but those things happen. You know, like good things don't last forever. So it did. So it wasn't so bad. It was actually kind of funny because, you know, Buddy was being so small. Cops couldn't get handcuffs on him because his wrist was so tiny, so he'd slip out of them. He'd go running away, and you had these big, fat Irish cops chasing this little dwarf around, and they caught him eventually. I don't know how, but they got him. And yeah, we went to juvie hall together. I'm glad we went together. It was a good experience too. I really appreciated juvie hall. I don't know if you've ever been there. It's fun. I learned so much stuff that I had never learned anywhere. And I mean, I've been in school, I've been in the Army, I watch educational programs on TV, but you learn stuff like how to hotwire a car. You know, it's not difficult. You think it's difficult, but it's easy enough. And I learned also how to snatch a purse without hurting somebody. Because, you know, the thing with purse snatching, you grab it off, and you don't want to hurt the women, because most women tend to be kind of fragile. And bad enough you get caught with a robbery rap, that's bad, but assault, forget it. So I remember there was, the guys taught us how to do that. That was, excuse me, that was fun. I had a blast, but he took a little, sorry, Mexican food does it to me all the time. Buddy had some problems at first because, you know, when we got to juvie hall, we were given these orange jumpsuits, and they're pretty hideous to begin with, but there was nothing in his size, because they were expecting old normal size kids, and here comes this little like 3-foot dwarf comes in, and it's like, what are we going to give this guy? So they gave him the smallest of the regular jumpsuits, which of course didn't fit him, so he had to roll up his sleeves and roll up the legs, and it would always come down, and he would be flopping about for a bit till they figured out, they eventually got him something that fit. And he adapted to it, but I got out before him, and I saw a lost track with him. I don't know whatever happened to him. I think about him sometimes. I would hope he grew up. I don't think they can do that. I don't think that they've done that yet, where they figure out how to turn a dwarf into a big person. But if he did, well, more power to him. Probably, it wouldn't be a bad idea if he could get it, if he's still around, if he got a show on TV. I don't know if you, excuse me. Finally, it finally works. I don't know. Do you make? I don't know if you make stuff. Do you ever watch reality TV lately? It's a real freak show out there. But there are a lot of dwarfs running around on TV. I'd like to think Buddy got a TV show for himself. He'd fit in perfectly. He wasn't a bad looking guy. But there are these a lot of this stuff that's on TV today. I can't watch it because it just rubs me the wrong way. I mean, we got, besides all these dwarfs running around, we got these people who have like 5,000 children. It's like, wow, that's really scary. And you got these bikers, these freaks with these tattoos, and then they build bikes and they break bikes and they rebuild the bikes and that. You got these gay guys who are making fancy dresses, and you got these sluts with the big ones wearing these dresses, and they wind up marrying these freaks with the tattoos that make the bicycles. And I can't stand that, really. It's scary stuff. My brother-in-law has been on TV. I don't know if you know that. You know my brother-in-law with the stomach and the, yeah, he's that's a real piece of work. He was on TV. He was on reality TV a couple of times. We had always reminded about it. His claim to fame. You probably think this is lunacy, but he said he saw a UFO. And you know, in a way, I'm sort of jealous of him that he's on TV for this. I think it's bullshit, to be honest. I just went out. Yeah. I think it's bullshit because he says he saw a UFO. He lives down in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. I don't know if you know what that is. That's it's sort of in the middle of nowhere. And if you believe him, and I don't, one night he was outside barbecuing or grilling, whatever you want to call it, and he says there was this UFO came down and hovered over his backyard, and he could see these little alien people peering out a window, and he was standing there for about maybe a minute or so looking at these things, and then he said it went away. And he's been on, oh God, how many TV shows? Like 1, 2, 3, about 3 or 4 TV shows telling the story. Never mind that his neighbors never saw the stuff, or there were no complaints to the Pennsylvania Air Force that there was a UFO in the neighborhood, but he said he saw it, and so he's been to conventions, and he's been on TV and in newspapers talking about he saw a UFO. And so I don't know. I feel bad for the alien people. You know, it's like they must be very, very smart to build a spaceship to take them all over the universe. It's like, I mean really, who hold on. You're gonna have to get more fluid for this thing. I mean, who builds spaceships today? I mean, it's the alien people and the Chinese, I think. I mean, the Chinese are building, they build this stuff. I hope their spaceships are better than this. But personally, I'm not buying anything made in China, and I have reason to avoid that, because, thank you, blood pressure. I had gotten the old lady something for her birthday, because we've been together for a long time, and you know, the spark sort of went out some time ago. I'm still a good-looking guy, and I'm in good shape. All this walking that I'm doing, she sort of let herself go, truth be told. And I thought, well, we need to spark up the relationship, so I bought her a vibrator. And I was going to surprise her for her birthday. So, one night, right before her birthday, she's sleeping. I hope you never see her sleep. That's a silly question. But she's sleeping. She's on her back, snoring like a walrus, and her legs are spread out. And let's have a bit of fun for the birthday. So, I tiptoe out of bed, and I pull out this vibrator that I bought. I bought it in that sex shop on the other side of town, where Tom Seymour's. And I open it up, and the instructions are all in Chinese. I think it's Chinese. It's one of those silly languages where everything looks like pigeons walked across the page with ink on their feet. But how ridiculous could it be to put together a vibrator? I mean, I have batteries in the house. And so I put it in, closed it up, and while she's sleeping, I put it in her actually, and turned it on. And you know, the damn thing short-circuited on her. Yeah. Oh, we had a lot of explaining to do to the ambulance corps. Trust me on that. thank God we have 2 ice packs in the house. I mean, one to take care of me, because she, when I woke her up, I mean, I looked like the dog from the Little Rascals. You remember him with the, yeah. That wasn't so bad. I mean, I've had that before, but apparently, I was under the belief that after the shock she got from the vibrator, well, she's going to need an ice pack on that because she got all swelled up. Well, getting the ice pack in there was bad enough. Getting it out, that was, I mean, the guys from the ambulance, I mean, there were these 2 guys and me, and we're just, I won't buy that Chinese stuff anymore, trust me. I mean, like this, if you're going to get yourself one of these things, get yourself something that's made here in this country, not over there. So that's, see what I mean? It's like, well, there's something. Here we go. What was I talking about? Oh. Almost forgot. Oh, anyway, so who's making spaceships? The Chinese and the alien people. Well, the Chinese aren't coming here in spaceships, thank God. They're always sticking menus under my door, though, which I do with that. But anyway, so these little alien people that live on the other side of the universe, billions and trillions and zillions of miles away, and they say to themselves, we built this incredible spaceship. Let's go find life elsewhere in the universe. And so they take off from wherever they're living, and they probably go zooming all over the place looking for life. They go to Pluto, there's no life there. They go to Neptune, there's no life there. They go to Uranus, there's no life there. They go hit all the planets, all the moons, all the stars. They come to Earth. Aha, life. Now they can make contact. So, but the damn thing is, where do they go when they get here? Do they go to New York? No. Did they go to Washington? No. Did they go to Rome? No. If you believe my brother-in-law, they go to King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. And they don't even go to the mall. That's the only reason anyone would go to King of Prussia today, because they have that huge mall there. There's always a sale at Macy's. You'd think they'd come all the way across. They could pick up a couple of sweaters or something and then to take home as a souvenir. No, they don't go there. They go to my brother-in-law's backyard, and they hover over his backyard, and they look at this fat slob standing on the deck with his in his plaid shorts, grilling his steaks, whatever. I feel so sorry for these poor little alien people. They look at them, it's like, we came all the way here, billions and trillions of miles for this. I mean, I have to go down to his place for Thanksgiving every year, and I'm always disappointed. I can't imagine how these poor little creatures felt going miles and miles away. So it's, that's pretty sad. But that's his claim to fame, and he's made some money off of it, and well, he's given me some money from it too, so I really shouldn't be such an ingrate. So, oh, more power to him. What can I say? This, yeah, we're gonna have to get something. Have to get another thing. I could have sworn I brought matches with me. You know, this is one of these weird experiences. That's my key. That's my comb. No, that's not there. Is it in this pocket? Hold on a second. I feel my cell phone in here. I wonder if I turn my cell phone on. No. I'm not expecting any calls. Whatever. I can always get a matchbook at Tom's place when I go there this evening. I wish there were more girls in Tom's place. I don't mind hanging out with the guys, but you know, I need to meet new women. Because, you know, I've been together with the old lady for ages, and it's just not there anymore, and I don't want to see the boat sail away while I still got my dick. So, you know what I like? I love British women. I really do. I mean, I love the way British women speak. They are so classy. They come out like, I'm classy. I'm like, yeah, you are. I could just, oh, I love listening. I sometimes get an erection watching Judi Dench movies, because, I mean, she has just got this voice to just put the juice in the old steak and plump it up. That's just, yeah. I'd go to England, so I don't have any money, so it's pretty expensive over there, I think. But I don't understand why British women hang out with British men though. They don't. To me, they seem like a bunch of wimps. I mean, you ever see these films with someone like Hugh Grant? I mean, his dick's probably smaller than this, and so it's. I don't know what they're thinking, but I mean, they must like the guys, because otherwise there wouldn't be anybody left over there, would there? No. But I need to meet new women. I need to get a job too. The ideal thing, though, excuse me, would be to, let me give this another shot, to meet women on the job. That's what I need to do. You know, meeting women. Oh, ho, ho. Meeting women at work. That would be great. I have this sort of pipe dream that I would be a gynecologist. I think that's a dream job. I mean, where else could you just be surrounded by women every day? And not only just women, but... Oh, hello. Oh, yeah. I know. I don't know. I'm going to tell you, when this Italian restaurant I went to, I forgot who I was with. But I was in this place, and it was a split-level place, and we were seated downstairs, and there was like a terrace above us. And there was this broad sitting there with a mini skirt, and she didn't have panties on underneath it. And she was like sitting like this with the legs apart, and you could see everything from where I was. I was looking up there, and I'm like, how can you eat with this staring in your face? And thank God they invented cell phones with the cameras about that time. This was so. I mean, I'm sitting there, and it's like no one is ever going to believe me that I'm seeing this while I'm having Italian dinner. So I borrowed my friend's cell phone, and I'm like, yeah, and that was. That was good, and I'm glad this happened. She came in, actually, it was around dessert time, because the desserts, they weren't that great. We had already finished our meal, and the manager told us to, saw what I was doing and told us to leave, so at least we were able to get out with a free meal. We missed the crummy dessert, and that was fine. So what was I talking about? Oh, I want to be a gynecologist. Yeah, that would be great. You know, you've got to go to school to be a gynecologist. And maybe I could find something on the internet, you know, where you click on one of these things and you get a degree. I mean, there's plenty of shit like that online. That would be fun. So imagine just like going to work every day and just like lifting up the hello, and that could be fun. Excuse me. I got to stop this Mexican food. It's the worst thing for me. But sometimes I'm saying to myself, you know, maybe it'd be like too much of a good thing, because you know, you work in a bakery and you like chocolate cupcakes, and you know, having a chocolate cupcake like once a day, that's okay. Maybe having it like 2 or 3 times a week, I can understand. It's a nice treat, but you know, you're surrounded by chocolate cupcakes. Do you want to eat chocolate cupcakes every 15 minutes? Probably not. And I don't know. That may not be the best idea. It's a thought. It's a thought, because that's where you meet women. Definitely. Another good place to meet women would be, well, I don't know if they have these places around. I haven't seen any around here, but I see this on TV. When you ever see these fancy bars where you got piano players, and they always have these beautiful women with the big ones and the low-cut dresses standing around the piano, and the guy's playing the piano, and he's smoking a cigarette. He was able to smoke a cigarette because there's a real lighter. And that would be great. You see, I would love that. That would be a dream job. So I have to learn how to play the piano, though. That's the whole thing. I don't have a piano. I don't know where I could get one. I could probably buy one online, but I don't know how they're going to ship it to me. It's like, you can't get it in the mailbox. Think something up. It can't be difficult to play the piano. I mean, so many people do it. Little kids, like probably those kids over there probably play piano. I mean, what is it? It's like typing, except you create music instead of words. So it shouldn't be too difficult. I would like that. I would really like that a lot. You know, the old lady's after me to to get work. She's saying to me, you want to go out and get a job. And I'm like, you know, what are you complaining about? I mean, the two of us are able to live on your salary, and I'm not complaining. Why are you? And so that's why, yeah, that's why I need to make a lot of changes. I mean, it's not so bad in spring and summer when she's in one of her moods, and I could sleep out on the porch or this park over here. And but you know, when the weather gets a little bit colder, it's you can't do it. And I need to make a change in my life. That's for sure. I need to do something. Oh, look at this. Spoke too soon. I'm gonna have to get. I'm supposed to get something on the way home. I forgot what it was. I'm supposed to go shopping for something. Go to the grocery store. What? You know, responsibility sucks. There's no nice way around it. You know, I need to get myself a matchbook. Here you go. This was nice. I'm gonna go down to Tom Seymour's. I don't know if you want to join me. It's about a mile from here. It's good exercise. I got nice big leg muscles thanks to this. So it's yeah. All right. Well, stay good, okay? And that's a nice camera. I should get myself a camera. I should make movies. That would be nice. People tell me I'm good looking. I should be in movies. It's like, yeah. I bet you meet a lot of chicks with that camera. So go out and find yourself a nice girl, okay? I'll see you around.
Welcome back to Short Film Showcase. That was Uncorked, and as a special treat, we have the maker of Uncorked right here in our studio. It's Phil Hall. Phil Hall.
Hello.
Welcome to Short Film Showcase.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Thanks for being here. And you have got a great resume. You've got so many things going on. We only have a few minutes, but I want to talk about everything that's going on with you right now. You've got a book coming out, film festival you're creating. You work for Film Threat, which is a very popular website. First, tell us about Film Threat a little bit.
Well, Film Threat is online, and I've been writing for them since 2000. A lot of people know me for a weekly column that appears every Friday on Film Threat called The Bootleg Files, which is a combination film history, film review, in which I write about unusual classic films and TV productions which can only be obtained through bootleg copies, because there are tons of movies out there that are not in commercial release. And if you have to know where to dig around to get these so-called gray market copies of them. And I've been doing that for close to 10 years.
Wow. With the movie the Santo movies from Mexico, the Mexican luchador, do you think they would fall into that category?
They could. I also do write about public domain films, which technically are not bootleg, because when the copyright expires, the movie's in the public domain and anybody can duplicate them, but that's also a problem. Everybody is duplicating them, and many of these films that are in circulation are third or fourth generation dupes.
Right.
So those Mexican films could fall into the category, though I have not been able to write about them at the moment.
That's fine. We've got so many things to talk about with you. The Greatest Bad Movies of All Time. That's going to be a new book.
It's a new book coming out towards the end of this year or early next year. We don't have a release date yet. I just actually sent it to the publisher last week. Bear Manor Media is publishing it. They've published 3 of my earlier books. And as the title suggests, it's a celebration of great bad movies, not bad movies that bore you or irritate you, but great bad movies, movies that are just so completely wrong that you look at them and you say, did adults really come together and spend money to make this stuff?
Right.
And it was a lot of fun putting this together, and I wanted to limit the list to 100. I mean, you could just write several volumes on the subject.
Would Ed Wood be in this, or is it beyond Ed Wood?
Ed Wood is in there. I tried to limit it 1 film per director. We could do a
Right.
whole book on Ed Wood's films, and several people have. So
Yes.
the obvious film being Plan 9, which is magnum opus. But other films are in there, such as the musical version of Lost Horizon from '73. Some obscurities. A movie called The Green Cockatoo is one of my favorites. It's a British gangster movie from 1937. Apparently a bunch of posh Brits thought they could do a Jimmy Cagney movie, and they couldn't.
Wow.
And the end result is just so mind-boggling, even I'm speechless trying to describe it. You have to see it to believe it.
The Village People did a movie that was so bad it was good type of movie.
I actually like that film. It's called
Yeah.
Can't Stop the Music. It got a very bad rap when it came out in 1980 because at that time disco was dying and the Village People popularity was waning. But I saw the film about 10 years ago and I was just like, it's not such a bad film, all things considered. The type of movie like that, a film like Xanadu, over time, they sort of get better with age. When they first came out, it was very easy to deride them, but maybe it's the comfort of nostalgia. You can look back and say, oh yeah, the 80s or the late 70s were a fun time, and maybe it wasn't so bad after all.
That's great, Phil. I mean, it seems like you're just an encyclopedia of film knowledge. That's awesome.
Well, so one of my books was called The Encyclopedia of Underground Movies, so you're on target there.
Nice. And we saw earlier on the show Uncorked. You want to talk about Uncorked a little bit?
Yeah, Uncorked was created as an experiment, and I really can't take full credit because behind the camera was Eric Schrader and Aaron Sandler, and they co-directed me on the film Burial Boys, which is an award-winning movie made in Connecticut a couple of years ago. And I had an idea, how can we make a film as quickly and cheaply as possible? So the film we just saw, the entire shoot took 1 hour, and the budget was $10, which was
Wow.
the bottle of cognac that my character was drinking. And the monologue that my character did was a single unbroken take, so there was no need for editing except for when Eric decided to do some cutaway shots around the park.
Right.
So, I just wanted to show people that you don't have to overthink the filmmaking process. You can just go out, shoot a film, come back, put it onto your computer, do a little bit of fun work here and there, and boom, you have a movie. We spent the whole day making the film, and people are surprised when they see that. They can't believe that the movie was made so quickly, and also the fact there was no written script.
Right.
The character's monologue, I had everything in my head, but Eric and Aaron were not aware of what I was going to say, so the whole thing came as a surprise. So in a way it is an improvised film, but in the way it's a very carefully planned film because I knew which stories I would be going to point to point to point in the course of the movie.
That's amazing. If, just so many things. Some of your other books, Independent Film Distribution,
Yes.
The New PR, The History of Independent Cinema, and What If They Lived.
Yes.
And these books, I mean, just by the titles alone, we can see that these books are very helpful to people like myself, our producer Brian Casey, as we move forward with our film careers.
Yes.
You know,
Well, you have to understand where the film industry came from if you want to go forward into the film industry, as with any industry. The New PR is not a film book per se, it's about the public relations industry, but it's very helpful for filmmakers because what separates a famous filmmaker from an obscure filmmaker is ultimately public relations and marketing.
right.
And if you don't know how to market yourself, you're not going to go very far.
I mean, you can take a look at the history of filmmakers and say, well, this one was talented, but if you knew this obscure filmmaker from somewhere in the country or the world,
Yeah.
and they didn't have that name recognition, it's because, as you say, the marketing, the PR just wasn't there for that person, that or they didn't hit the lightning in the bottle type of thing to get known. So it's just interesting what you're saying here. It was so very helpful.
Actually, the new PR is going to be updated. That's going to be my next book project, is to do a new version of that. That should be coming out around 2015.
Do you have a personal website, or is there Amazon, or?
Oh, I'm all over the place. You could just do Phil Hall on Amazon. There are a lot of writers named Phil Hall, but just look for the film-related books on Amazon. I'm on Internet Movie Database. I'm Phil Hall #2. There are 7 Phil Halls out there. I'm on Facebook at facebook.com/Phil Hall.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because we definitely want people to know where to get these books. They're very, very
Or
important.
look me up at Film Threat, at filmthreat.com. You'll find me there.
Film Threat, I've had some reviews on Film Threat of my own work, and you guys are tough. You're not
Oh,
gonna,
yeah.
you're not going to give a big thumbs up or the stars, the 5 stars. Is it stars that Film Threat does?
We do stars, yeah. If you're looking for Peter Travers, you're in the wrong place. This
Right.
is a very serious, intelligent dissection of what's out there. We celebrate independent films and underground filmmakers, but if a film doesn't make the grade, we're not going to be shy about saying, we'll try to explain why we feel this way. We're not into destructive criticism, we're into constructive criticism.
I was happy to get 4.5 for you guys for one piece, Rejected by Reality. Then I turned in something else and got, I think, 1.5. So
What was the 1.5 film?
Wrestling Son, Memoirs of My Parents' Divorce. It had some local pro wrestlers and Killer Kowalski, but it wasn't too well received by Film Threat.
Well, you have to remember, too, not just for Film Threat, but any review site, reviews are ultimately opinions.
Right.
You know, the old saying that opinions are like a certain body cavity.
Yes.
Everyone has one, most of them stink.
Right.
Yeah, so you're just taking the opinion of the writer. This is not a statement of fact. Even the 100 The Greatest Bad Movies book that I'm doing, there are some films in there that people might say, well, why is that in there? I have to say, it's my opinion. This is not a statement of fact.
Right. I do want to mention again, the New England Underground Film Festival has an entry deadline of August 30th.
That's correct. That's another one of my endeavors. Every year in October, we have a festival in Hartford, Connecticut. I am the programmer and director of that. You could look us up, just do a search engine online for New England Underground Film Festival. We're looking for feature films, short films, documentaries. New England filmmakers get preference.
Nice. Phil, we've just got about 30 seconds. Anything you want to say to me that I can carry on to our viewers?
Yes, thank you for having this show and for sharing short films with the television and the internet audience. It's very important for short filmmakers to have a venue, and this is a godsend.
Thank you very much, Phil Hall.
Thank you.
This has been the Short Film Showcase. We've had a great episode. I want to thank our guests, Phil Hall and also Brina, 2 great filmmakers in the area. We appreciate them so much. Also, if you are a filmmaker out there and would like to have your short film featured on the Short Film Showcase, please contact our producer, Brian Casey, at bcfilms.net. That's Brian Casey at bcfilms.net to have your short film right here on the Short Film Showcase. And for all you independent filmmakers out there, or if you're just thinking about making an independent film, remember this: if you can dream it, shoot it. I'm Mike Messier, Short Film Showcase.